Zeros. Giving an integer array nums, move all 0 to the end of it, while maintaining the relative order of the non-zero elements. Note that you must do this in place without making a copy of the array. Okay, here's two examples. First, we have array like 0, 1, 0, 3, 12. So we want to move all the non-zero to the start. So it's 1, 3, 12, 0, 0. Another example, if the array just have 0, so then we don't do any modification. Okay, so for this question, I'm going to use a iterative approach. I will loop through the array and then move all the non-zero elements to the left, and then to do that, I will keep track of what's the next non-zero element index. And every time I encountered a non-zero element, I will just set the non-zero index with that number, and then increment the position by 1 to indicate that's the next non-zero element should be. And first, I will say I will have an int, which is position, which is the non-zero element position. I will initialize to 0, and then I will have a for loop. So for int I equal to 0, I less than num.length I plus plus plus. I will say I will have a current, so it's the current will be nums at I, and then I will say if current is not equal to 0, that means we want to move this number to the current non-zero position. So we will say nums at position equal to current, and then we want to increment that position by 1. And then after that, we have another for loop to start from the position to the end to fill the rest of the array with 0. So we will say for int I equal to position I less than nums.length I plus plus nums at position equal to 0. So yeah, that's how we do that. And then lastly, let's do some check for the example 2, for example. So if nums is equal to null, then we don't want to do anything. Or when nums got length less than 2, so when there are only 0 elements, it's empty array or just have 1 element, so we don't need to do any rearrangement. That means we can just return. And yeah, before we check if it's right, let's walk through the code again. So if the array is null or less than 2, then we do nothing, and then we initialize the position of the non-zero elements. We loop through the array. If the current number is not 0, we want to move to that position, and then we increment position by 1. So that's how we can know where should we put next non-zero element. After this for loop through, all the non-zero elements should be moved to the left side of the array, and then we have another for loop. So we start from the position until the end, and then we will update those index with 0 to fill the rest with 0. And for the time complexity, this will be O of n. Even though we have 2 for loop, this will be 2n, but we drop the constant, so it will be O of n. For the space complexity will be O of 1, because it's a constant space, because we create some integer, but we didn't create any array or other data structure. We do these arrangements in place. So that's why the space complexity is 1, because we just create some variables which will be always constant space. And then next we can test this out. Something is wrong. Oh, here we should have the I as a position.